A lot of people think this rule is simple, but it is not. They hear one line about the state pension age going up to 67 and assume it only matters to people born in 1961 or later. That is where the shock begins, because some people born before 1961 are also caught by the change, and if you plan to stop work at 66 without checking your exact date, you could leave yourself short of money for months. If you want updates like this in plain English before a letter, rule change or deadline catches you late, subscribe now. This channel is for people who do not want spin, noise, or fancy words. It is for people who just want to know what is changing, who it affects, and what to do next. Here is the truth in simple terms. The UK state pension age is now 66, but it is moving to 67 in stages, and that move starts affecting people around the 1960 and 1961 birth years. So this is not just a future story for much younger workers. For many viewers, this is a live planning issue right now, because the difference is not small when your budget depends on one start date. Now pay close attention to this next part, because this is the detail that changes everything. The line is not simply born before 1961 or born after 1961. The real rule uses exact birth dates, and that is why many people get caught out. If you were born before April 6, 1960, your state pension age stays at 66. But if you were born on or after April 6, 1960, the age starts moving up in steps. That means two people who both say, "I was born in 1960, may not have the same state pension age at all. One person born in March 1960 can still reach state pension age at 66. Another person born in April 1960 has to wait an extra month. Someone born later in 1960 may wait several extra months, and someone born from March 6, 1961 has a state pension age of 67. This is where the real problem starts. Many people do their planning by year, not by exact date. They say, "I was born before 1961, so I should be fine," or "I turn 66 next year, so my pension should start then." But pension rules do not work on rough guesses, and one wrong guess can affect your work plans, your savings, your bills, and even when you decide to give up a job. Let me make it easier with simple examples. If you were born on March 1st, 1960, your state pension age is still 66. If you were born on April 10th, 1960, it becomes 66 and 1 month. If you were born on September 20th, 1960, it becomes 66 and 6 months. And if you were born on February 15th, 1961, it becomes 66 and 11 months. Then from March 6, 1961 onward, the state pension age becomes 67. If you have already checked your date and it was later than you expected, leave a comment and say what surprised you most. A lot of people are finding out that the birth year is only half the story. Your exact day and month matter more than many people realize. Now here is the part most people miss. The extra weight is not just a number on paper. If you are counting on your state pension to begin at 66, even a delay of a few months can create a real gap. That gap might mean more rent to cover, more council tax to budget for, more energy bills to carry, and more pressure on savings that were meant to last longer. For some people, that gap changes retirement plans completely. They may need to stay in work longer, cut hours more slowly, or use private pension money earlier than they wanted. Others may have already spoken to family, arranged care, or made travel or housing choices around the age of 66. So when the true date turns out to be 66 and 5 months, or 66 and 10 months, it does not feel like a small adjustment. It feels like the floor moved after the plan was already built, but that is not the full story. The state pension age is also linked to other important checks, including when you may qualify for pension credit and some other age-related support. That does not mean every benefit follows the same rule in the same way, but it does mean your pension age can affect wider money planning. So if your state pension date is later than you thought, do not just look at the pension itself. Look at the knock-on effect on the rest of your household support. This matters even more for people on a tight income. If you were hoping the state pension would start and take pressure off your weekly budget, A late date may leave you bridging the gap another way. That could mean wages, savings, help from a partner, or another benefit if you qualify. And if your income is already stretched, waiting even a few extra months can be the difference between coping and falling behind. Here is where many people get caught out again. They check their pension age once years earlier, then never look at it properly again, or they rely on something a friend said, a social media post, or a rough chart with missing detail. That is risky because your real retirement plan should be based on your exact date, your national insurance record, and your actual expected pension amount, not a guess. It is also important to separate official contact from fear and confusion. When pension age changes are in the news, scam messages often follow. You may see fake texts, strange emails, or calls saying you need to confirm bank details, apply quickly, or pay for help to unlock your state pension. Real government processes do not work like that, and you should treat surprise messages about pension payments, reviews, or urgent account checks with real caution. If you get a letter or message and something feels off, slow down. Check the sender, check the wording, and never rush into sharing personal details. Do not click links just because they mention DWP, HMRC, or pension changes. This is especially important for older viewers who are already trying to understand a confusing rule. The last thing anyone needs is losing money to a scam while trying to protect their retirement. Please share this with one person born in 1960 or early 1961. They may think this story is not about them when it actually is. A quick share now could save someone a nasty surprise later. Now let us talk about couples, carers, and households where money decisions are shared. If one partner reaches state pension age before the other, the household picture can get complicated. A couple may think pension income is about to start, but if the younger partner is not yet at that point, other support rules and budgeting choices may still matter a lot. That is why mixed-age households should not make assumptions based on one partner alone. Carers need to watch this as well. If you reduced work, turned down shifts, or planned your caring role around the idea that state pension starts at 66, a later date may change what support you need in the meantime. The same goes for people helping an older parent, an ill spouse, or a disabled relative. When one date shifts, the whole family routine can shift with it. And that is why these changes feel bigger than they look on paper. This is the detail that changes everything for many low-income households. A later state pension date can affect when you expect some relief in your monthly budget. You may still need to cover food, heating, transport, and housing costs without that pension income for longer. So the smart move is not to panic, but to plan early and honestly. The sooner you know your real date, the more choices you still have. The timing also matters. The rise from 66 to 67 is not one single overnight jump for everyone. It is happening between 2026 and 2028, which is why people born in the key dates around 1960 and early 1961 see those extra months. So one person may wait just one extra month, another may wait 6 months, and another may wait the full year, depending on their birth date. That step change is exactly why blanket advice can be so misleading. And that leads to one of the biggest mistakes people make. They build a life plan around the age of 66 without checking the official result for themselves. They hand in notice, reduce hours, dip into savings early, or assume bills will soon be easier to manage. Then the real pension date turns out to be later, and suddenly they are trying to patch a money gap under pressure. A good plan feels calm because it is based on facts, not hope. Another mistake is focusing only on age and forgetting the pension amount. Your state pension age tells you when you can claim, but your national insurance record helps decide how much you may get. So even if your date is right, you still need to know whether your record is full or whether there are gaps that could affect your payment. This is not about fear. It is about making sure the date and the amount both match the future you are preparing for. If you are already over 66 and already getting your state pension, this specific age rise will not suddenly change your pension age now. That part is important because some headlines make people think everyone is being pushed back at once. They are not. If you already reach state pension age under the old timetable, that is your position. The shock is mainly for people who assumed they were safe because they were born before 1961, when in fact some of that group are still in the rising band, and if you were born before April 6, 1960, do not let panic headlines unsettle you. Your state pension age remains 66 under the current timetable. On the other side, if you were born on or after March 6, 1961, your state pension age is 67. It is the middle group, especially people born from April 6, 1960 to March 5, 1961, who need to be very alert because that is where the age rises month by month. Have you ever noticed how one small date in the rules can change a whole retirement plan? That is why checking the exact detail matters more than the big headline. If this has made you rethink your own timing, save this video so you can come back to it. So what should you do now? Start with the exact date, not the year. Check your personal state pension age using the official checker, then look at your state pension forecast, then review your national insurance record. After that, look at your wider money plan and ask yourself one simple question. If my pension starts later than I thought, how do I cover that gap without damaging the rest of my retirement? For some people, the answer may be staying in work a bit longer. For others, it may be delaying big spending, reviewing private pension timing, or checking whether they may qualify for help such as pension credit or council-related support when the time comes. The key point is this: do not wait until you are a few weeks away from stopping work. Give yourself time while you still have options, because options get smaller when deadlines get close. Now here is the calm truth behind the scary title. Yes, there is a real change. Yes, some people born before 1961 are affected. And yes, the cutoff is more complicated than most people expect. But once you know your exact place in the timetable, the confusion starts to clear and you can plan with much more confidence. The people most at risk are not always the youngest or the oldest. They are often the people in the middle who think they already know the answer. That is why this issue catches out careful, responsible people. They are not careless. They are simply working from the wrong shortcut. And the shortcut is the phrase "born before 1961," which sounds simple but does not tell the full story. So remember the key message. This is not really about the year alone. It is about the exact birth date, the staged rise between 2026 and 2028, and whether your own plan still works if your state pension starts later than 66. Check the date. Check the amount, check the rest of your budget, and do not let a rough guess make a hard year harder. If you want more plain English updates on pensions, benefits, age rule changes, and money warnings that can affect real households, subscribe and stay close. And if this helped clear up the confusion, share it with someone born around 1960 or early 1961. A 2-minute share today could save them months of stress tomorrow.